दिनभर टुर गाडीमा टुर जाँदैछौँ होइन, लाइक गाडीले चाहिँ हामीलाई घुमाउँछ आज होल डे। अनि हामी चाहिँ राति नै यहाँको 5:30मा निस्केर यहाँ अलिकति बस स्टपभन्दा यता अगाडि ओर्लेर होइन, बस स्टप चाहिँ हिँड्दै जाने अलिकति छिटो हुन्छ भनेर हामी जाँदैछु। मजा तपाईँहरू पनि हामीसँगै आउनु होला। अनि म तपाईँहरूलाई देखाउनेछु यहाँ राति भाइ दिदी त्यहाँ देख्नु भएन होला, मेरो बुढा त्यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ। अनि त्यही हो, लुक यस्तो छ है रातिको सिन चाहिँ।
My name is Alistair, okay? I'm going to be your driver guide for today. So hopefully we're going to have a fantastic day today. Aye. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like. It was lovely yesterday. I hope it's going to be the same today. Anyway, I'm going to tell you all about what we're going to do on the tour today in a moment. Not yet though. Before I do, I need to go through that is an emergency exit. There's one up towards the back of the bus on the right hand side, the side I'm sitting on. Another emergency exit. 1800s, the Glencoe massacre took place. I'm going to tell you all about that story. As I say, we'll stop at the Glen, not for long, maybe 10 minutes, have a look around, grab some photos, and then we're going to continue our journey. The next stop that we will make after Glencoe will be our lunch stop. So we're going to stop in a town called Fort William. So Fort William, it's quite a large town for the Highlands. There aren't that many of them. Most of the people that live in Scotland live round about here. You know, Edinburgh, Glasgow, kind of in an area known as the Central Belt or the Central Lowlands. That's where most people live. About 5.5 million people roughly in Scotland. Another sculpture in a town on the outskirts of Edinburgh called Dunbar. That sculpture is known as the Dunbar. It was created to honour the memory of a world famous. There you've got, that's Doon Castle, folks. So you might recognise Doon Castle if you watch a lot of movies or TV shows. Has anyone seen a show called Game of Thrones? So initially he heads over to Norway. He then ends up in Denmark. In Denmark he winds up in a Danish prison. Actually be in the geographical area of the Highlands. You won't yet be in the administrative region. You know, the area.
चाहिँ हामी खाजा खानु के भन्छ जस नेपालमा जस्तै रहेछ कि यो चाहिँ एउटा स्पट। सबै सामान सबै ओरिजिनल टार्टेन्सहरू हेर्नु न कति महँगो के, कति महँगो राम। Vegetable. Do not touch. Why do not touch? कस्तो महँगो के हामीले उता किन्यो भन्दा ओरिजिनल त्यो ज्याकेटै होला, ज्याकेट जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई यो। थाहा भएन यस्तो फ्रिज म्याग्नेट यो फ्रिज टक 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 हल्काउँछ होइन मलाई कस्तो मनपर्छ त्यस्तो कलेक्सनहरू स्कटल्यान्ड सप चाहिँ साँच्चैकै यो के हो बुढा याक होइन यो के हो याक होइन अनि
Works of Sir Walter Scott was a lady called Victoria. So Victoria went on to become Queen Victoria. Very, very famous British Queen, Queen Victoria. He had children from that marriage. He had 3 children, but he'd outlived them all. His last surviving daughter had died in childbirth in Norway. So at this point, he decides to get married again. So second time around, he marries a French noblewoman called Yolande. Yolande the Dieu. Now, by all accounts, Alexander was very fond of Yolande. I'm not sure how she felt about him, but he liked her a lot. Anyway, the story goes that one night Alexander was dining in Edinburgh Castle. You know, it was on like a wee night out. It was like in Norway. Her name was Margaret. So the couple points out the Margaret is a little years to surface and such shit. How it felt. But that point she was too young to make a dangerous voyage across the North Sea as well.
Finally. Yes, I'm ready.
administrative region of the Highlands. So the area that is controlled by the Highland Council. So we'll be moving out onto an area that's it's known as Rannoch Moor. So Rannoch Moor is a desolate place in Scotland. Now, despite the fact that it's desolate, they have filmed movies and TV shows in this area. In fact, they filmed scenes from one of the so scenes from that movie were shot in this area. In fact, there were some scenes actually shot on this road. So there's a scene in the movie where you see James Bond, who's played by an actor called Daniel Craig. He's driving along a road in the Highlands in his vintage Aston Martin car. Sitting next to him was his boss, whose code name is M. Nobody knows what her real name is, Judy Dench. So they drive along this road, they pull into a lay-by. You know, some years will be enough, some years they won't. In fact, I was up here yesterday and there was snow on the tops of the mountains. But it's gone today. But there was, you know, a fair old bit of snow. So yeah, it is a bit of a hit or miss.
स्ट्रगल हुँदैछ त्यहाँ दाइको मेरो बुढा चाहिँ भ्यू इन्जोय गरिरहेछ
So as well as kind of filming the scenes I've just mentioned, we filmed scenes for the house Skyfall in this area as well. So if you remember, Skyfall was meant to be James Bond's childhood home. So you ओर्लाउँदो रहेछ अनि त्यसपछि हामी उत्रेर जाँदैछौँ ओ माइ गॉड कस्तो राम्रो हाय के त्यो पिग्लेको हिउँ हो आउनु न massacre, they resettled, those who survived the massacre resettled here in this village. They felt there was more options for escape. Originally, the McDonald's of Glencoe would have lived, you know, back there, further back in the glen, but those who survived moved here to the edge of this Loch Leven. It's another Loch Leven. So, over in the middle of the loch, you'll see a group of islands. And the one that's furthest over to the left with lots of trees on, the largest of the islands, that is where they buried the dead of those who were killed in the Glencoe massacre. So there's between about 30 and 40 graves over there. I'm not sure the exact number, it seems to vary depending upon who you speak to and what source you read, but between about 30 and 40 graves, that's what I always say. So as we pass by the island, if you look over, sometimes you can see some of the headstones. You know, they're a bit more difficult to see. James to renounce his Catholic faith, but he won't. So what they decide to do is get rid of him. And the way they're going to get rid of him was led by a man called Charles Edward Stuart. So Charles Edward Stuart was more commonly known as Bonnie Prince Charlie. He led this final uprising in 1745, which was ultimately defeated in 1740, ruling jointly as King and Queen. They want to try to ensure that further uprisings don't take place. Of course, they didn't manage to do that. But one of the ways that they tried to do it is by getting all the clan chiefs in Scotland to sign an oath of allegiance to them. So there was to be a deadline set to sign the oath.
है केले भनेको के अरे बा हेर्नु फोटो खिच्ने होइन घुम्ने ठाउँ चाहिँ रहेछ है गाइस ब्रो के भयो फायर हाउस यहाँ ब्याग हेर्नुहोस् ब्याग कस्तो राम्रो क्युटी क्युटी खै एक्लै आएको होला हामी चाहिँ खाँदैछौँ खानुहोस् खानुहोस् सबैजना अनि एक पन्ध्र हुन आँटिसक्यो दाइ
पनि अहिले यहीँ बस्ने हो किन भन्दा हामीलाई हाम्रो गाडीले छोडेर जान सक्छ त्यसैले हामी यहीँ गाडी कुरेर बस्नेछौँ अब जम्मा 5 मिनट कि 10 मिनट मात्रै बाँकी छ यहाँ घाम पनि लागिरहेको छ एकदमै न्यानो न्यानो छ अहिले चाहिँ बिहानबाट चाहिँ हामी एकदमै चिसोमा हिँडेको अब हाम्रो बसको साथीहरू पनि बिस्तारै सबैजना आउँदैछ अब यहाँ सबैजना जम्मा हुने होला यहाँ पनि घाम छ त
Anyway, today, Fort William, as I mentioned, it's quite a large town for the Highlands. Everything you might expect to find in a fairly large town. There is a hospital here. There's a railway station. There are gas stations, petrol stations, whatever you want to call them. Fast food outlets. You've got McDonald's, KFC. There's Costa Coffee here. There's places of worship. There's cemeteries. There's a distillery.
भनेपछि नेपालीहरू पनि आयो होला सेकेन्ड वर्ल्ड अनि कुन चाहिँ सेकेन्ड वर्ल्ड वारमा ऊ भएको भनेको होइन आर्मीको लागि त्यो त नेपाली टोपी जस्तो यो पढाएछ है यो चाहिँ यो हो
स्पेशल फर्स्ट युनिट
मलाई चाहिँ पुरा उहाँलाई फोटो खिच्नु मन लाग्दैन यस्तो कुरामा चाहिँ पढ्नु मन लाग्छ यो चाहिँ फेरि एउटा अर्को ठाउँ हो यहाँ चाहिँ बोटहरू रहेछ क्या सेपहरू यस्तो छ होइन अनि हामी चाहिँ फेरि ओर्लेर होइन यहाँ चाहिँ 1.5 hour जति घुमेर उनीहरूले फेरि पिकअप गर्छ हामीलाई जाँदैछौँ यस्तो छ है सिप रमाइलो भइरहेछ त्यस्तो हामी एकदम जाडोमा पनि आएको छैन यहाँ किनभने नोभेम्बर डिसेम्बरदेखि स्नोफल हुन्छ ल अलिअलि त थियो माथि डाँडामा र हामी घुम्नुमा चाहिँ होइन लाइक हुन्छ नि पोखराको भाइब जस्तो लागेको छ मलाई चाहिँ यो हर्लिक्स
So I'm told that Dalwhinnie is not one of the more recognisable smoky whiskies, but they certainly do make a whisky that has a smokiness to it, and the way they get that into the whisky, as I say, is just by burning peat. Anyway, we're going to make our way toward the A9.
होइन जाडो भयो किन कस्तो लाग्यो रमाइलो लाग्यो यो खै कुन ठाउँ हो थाहा छैन ठाउँ थाहा छैन मलाई जाडो भयो पानीको माथि जहाँदेखि चढेको हामी चाहिँ त्यहीँ ओर्लिएर रुम जाँदै हो जाडो टोपीलाई मैले केही छैन तर रमाइलो भयो ट्रिप खुइखुइ होइन बिस्तारै जाने हो बुढा यहाँ जुन चाउमिनको फ्यानहरू हाल्नु चाहिँ स्कटल्यान्डमा यसो जुन चाउमिनको गीत गाउँदै हिँड्दैछ मेरो बुढा मेमोरी हुन्छ मानै त हो नि नजाने